Mulyadi. I'm from class 6041F07 with student ID number is 6425086. Today, I want to discuss a topic that we often encounter on campus, smoking in campus area. We all know that smoking is quite common among students, but the question is it actually okay to smoke on campus? Some people say it is completely unacceptable because it can disturb others, but others feel that it is personal as long as it does not disturb others. In my opinion, both sides have valid reasons. So, I want to take a middle ground, not just ban it, but also look for a wiser solution. First, why do many people oppose smoking on campus? Because campus is a place for learning, not for smoking. Cigarette smoke can disturb others, especially non-smokers. Not only does it smell bad, but it is also harmful to health. Cigarettes contain more than 400 harmful chemicals, including nicotine, tar, and carbon monoxide. These substances have been proven to cause various serious diseases, such as lung cancer, heart problems, and respiratory disorders. Even people who don't smoke can be affected if they inhale cigarette smoke from others, and they are called passive smokers. And the risk can be just as dangerous as for active smokers. Not to mention that cigarette butts that are thrown away carelessly make the campus look dirty. After all, we all want to study in a clean and comfortable environment, right? However, we must also realize that not everyone can quiet someone instantly. Smoking instantly. For some people, smoking has become a habit and perhaps even a way to reduce stress. Therefore, in my opinion, the most reasonable solution is to create designated smoking areas. These areas can be located far from classroom, parks, or cafeterias, so they don't disturb others. This way, smokers' rights are respected, but the campus environment remains healthy and comfortable for everyone. So, in conclusion, I oppose smoking in public areas on campus because it clearly disturbs the health, comfort, and cleanliness of the environment. However, at the same time, I also think that the best solution is not only to ban it, but also to provide a special space for smokers. This way, all parties can respect each other's. Passive smoker can still study comfortable, and smokers still have their own place without disturbing others. A good campus is not only smoke-free but also sets an example of how we can live together with mutual respect and care for the environment. So, in my opinion, the smoke-free area or smoking zone solution is the fairest and most realistic step to implement on our campus. And may this opinion serve as a reflection for us all. And next, I'm going to present a topic about the usage of modal in request words. In this presentation, we will learn how to make polite and effective requests in English using modal verbs. Do you know how to ask someone politely in English? For example, we can say, "Can you help me?" or "Would you mind helping me?" They have the same meaning, but one sounds more polite than the others. In this lesson, we will learn three things. First, how to use modals to make requests. Second, how to understand the level of politeness. And third, how to apply them in real-life situations. Modals are helping verbs that we use to show ability, permission, request, or possibility. Some common modals are can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, and must. But today, we will focus only on how to use them to make polite requests.
A request means asking someone to do something for us in a nice or polite way. For example, can you open the window, or would you pass me the salt, please? Both are requests, but the tone depends on which models we use. Being polite is very important in communication. We use polite language to show respect and friendliness. For example, instead of saying close the door, which sounds rude, we can say could you close the door please, and it sounds much better. These are the most common models used for requests: can, could, will, and would. Each has a different level of politeness, from casual to very polite, depending on who you're talking to. We use can for casual or informal situations, like when talking to friends. For example, can you lend me your pen? Or can you turn on the light? It's direct and simple, but still polite enough among close friends. Could is more polite than can. It's perfect when speaking to teachers, elders, or in formal situation. For instance, could you open the window please? Or could you help me with this report? It sounds softer and more respectful. We use will to make neutral requests or invitation. For example, will you come with me? Or will you wait a moment please? It's not too formal and not too casual, just polite and friendly. Would is the most polite model for making requests. It's often used in formal or respectful situations. For example, would you mind closing the door, or would you please cite this firm? This shows excellent manners. No matter what model you use, always add please. It makes your sentence sounds much more polite and friendly. For example, could you help me please? A simple word that makes a big difference. Now let's see the order of politeness. From the most casual to the most formal, we have can, then will, then could, and would. So, if you want to sound more polite, move to the right side for this scale. Let's see how these models work in daily life. In a restaurant, you can say, can I have some water? Or could you bring me the menu please? Or would you mind giving me the bill? Each sounds polite but has a different tone. In school setting, we often make requests to teacher or friends. For example, can you explain it again? Or could you lend me your book? Or would you help me with this assignment? At work, politeness is very important thing. We might say, will you attend the meeting? Could you send the report today? Or would you mind reviewing this file? It helps build professional and respectful communication. Sometimes we also need to take polite native requests. For example, would you mind not smoking here? Or could you please not be late? Even though it's a no, it still sounds respectful. Now let's practice a little. Try to fill in the blank with the correct model. First, can you help me with my homework? Second, could you open the window please? And third, would you mind lending me your book? Let's summarize what we've learned. We use modals like can, could, will, and would to make polite requests. Add please to sound friendly. And remember, would is the most polite, while can is the most casual. To conclude, using modals correctly helps us sound polite and respectful in English conversation. It makes sound communication smoother and more comfortable. Thank you for listening, and remember, always be polite when making requests.